Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Cool Story Show podcast. My name's Alex Gurnett, and I'm here with
Andy Spiteri,
David Meyer,
Aaron Corbett,
and today we're going to talk about social media. This idea is recommended to us by a good friend, Caitlin Commandante, and we're going to talk initially about which ones do you love and which ones do you hate, and maybe some in between. So, Dave, which social media, let's say, do you love first?
I don't really use social media a lot. I'd say that one of the ones I use, Instagram. I like sharing pictures and getting shameless likes just for posting something.
It feels so good to get likes on your pictures, though.
Oh, it definitely does.
It's retarded how good it feels.
Twitter.
I love Twitter.
I feel like
Twitter.
I can never.
Twitter's the best.
I can never tweets properly.
Twitter's my favorite.
You can never tweet, so there you go.
That's your problem.
Hashtag fail.
Hashtag fail. And then I have Facebook, but I don't do anything with it. Pretty much, it's kind of like a dying. Kind of keep in touch like with people that you need to, but yeah, that's mine. As far as ones I hate, I can't really think of any ones I particularly hate. I mean,
Snapchat.
Yeah, people have been talking about Snapchat. There's no way I'm going to get that unless somebody can convince me pretty hardcore.
Dave gets Snapchat.
Pinterest.
Damn it.
Isn't that
Okay.
one
Yep.
where you just
Pinterest is
Facebook Messenger? Didn't that just
that's part of Facebook, but
I'd say
cool,
it's part of
Dave.
Facebook, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's its own app on your phone.
But
It
they
is
make
its
you.
own app, but it's really realistically part of Facebook.
and I've refused.
Okay.
Aaron, go ahead.
Like you said, my favorite social media to use is probably Twitter. I really love Twitter. Facebook is funny. Like, I never had Facebook for the longest time, and every single one of my friends had it, and I finally gave in. Like, finally, in like 2011 or something, I got Facebook. And it's okay. I don't mind Facebook, but I wish more people on Facebook would post like just pictures or videos or just comments about stuff in their life and less links to sites and apps and just bullshit that is just pointless in every way.
But you follow someone on Twitter and they retweet. Retweet,
motherfucker!
Hashtag retreat.
hashtag fail. They retweet shit to other sites or whatever, links or stuff like that. Stuff that you don't really care about if you're not following the same person. You could argue that's the same thing.
No, that's a good point. I do like Facebook, I would say, but it is a little annoying sometimes when you're looking at your feed and it's like, you know, a post comes up from like 2 years ago that one of your friends likes or comments on. Like, I don't give a fuck. It doesn't mean anything to me. I don't want to see, you know, apps promoted. I don't need to see like, you know, sorry, Mom, but my mom always posts like a million links to just useless shit on Facebook, and it's
Parents on social media is definitely the worst.
That always ends up killing a
and
site.
especially on
Parents are using
Facebook,
it.
that's a necessary evil. Like you're gonna always have parents and close family on Facebook, so it kind of wrecks it. Which is why I like Twitter, because Twitter I just have my friends on and no parents or anything.
Yeah.
So for the third thing I really like is Pinterest. It's just basically like you just pin stuff to boards. You just find pictures you like and you just pin them. More or less, it's almost like scrapbooking for the 21st century. It's just, I don't know, it's just an easy way to pass the time. I actually like it. It's fun. Stuff that I hate, I'm going to throw it out there, like Vine, I don't like very much.
What's fine?
Vine is basically...
those 6-second videos.
Yeah, 6-second videos you post. You can,
So Instagram or videos.
yeah, okay, pretty close. But I just never find anything... Like, there is funny stuff on Vine, but, like, there's never anything new. You have to look for funny stuff on Vine, whereas...
The problem is that it's 6 seconds. Not a lot can be funny in 6 seconds.
Okay,
My
but...
love life could be.
Let's be honest, 6 seconds is stretching it a bit far, isn't it?
Yeah, no, but for sure Vine. Snapchat, like I have it. It's not great. It's pretty useless, to be honest. I would say those two are the big problems with social media that I have. Alex Gurnett.
The ones I like are obviously Twitter as well, and then YouTube, which I mean, it wasn't initially. I don't know. It's hard to. It's social media, but at the same time, it's almost a place to just post videos. But there's such a large community in it, and like the comment section and stuff.
I'm just going to throw it out there since our whole idea here is based right on YouTube. That's probably all going to be our favorite, without saying.
Love you, YouTube.
I don't
We
even
love
count
YouTube.
YouTube, to be honest. So.
It's metaphysical. It's above everything else.
I wouldn't
think.
count YouTube if it was just more like posting videos, but it has such a large community of like commenters and like subscribers. Like people are made because of their subscribers on there and stuff like that. Facebook, for a while there was hating, and I go in and out of it. But I like Twitter started, but the whole trending thing, I love kind of looking like, oh, what's going on that's trending with everything. And Twitter, I mean, did the best at that.
Another note, like Twitter created hashtag,
And Twitter gets
and that's a huge thing now.
If I want to figure out something that rumor has it there's something in the news, I'll search it on Twitter because it's going to be there first. That's the first thing to have it is Twitter. So,
Like the way my daily news usually works is Twitter and Reddit.
yeah.
I would argue that Reddit has stuff just as fast as Twitter, or Reddit has stuff just as fast as Twitter does.
See, I'm a
Maybe
Wikipedia
faster.
junkie. I always look at Wikipedia for stuff like that, and actually like surf Wikipedia a lot of times, doing that six degrees of separation kind of thing. But what are the ones that you don't like, Gurns?
I don't know. I kind of like them all. I think the parts of the Facebook I hate, like how they expect that they they give away all your information. They have a ton of our information and stuff like that, and they kind of limit their privacy concerns when it comes to their users. But I just get complacent with it. I'm like, I don't really have anything to hide. I'd say Pinterest, but that's probably just because I've never been on it, and I think that if I went on it, I'd be obsessed with it. But most of them, to be honest, I just get obsessed with. So, Andy?
Definitely Facebook and Twitter are my top two. See, I'm the opposite of you, Aaron. I actually love when people like something from like 3 or 4 years ago, and you're just like, oh my god, I can't believe that this was that person back then, or like this was me back then. What the fuck was I thinking, right?
I love creeping photos all the way.
Yeah,
to
or
the
like
beginning.
Yeah, to see if a person that I used to know or something that maybe I've met up with a couple years later, to see kind of the
Somebody
evolution
that
of
you
it.
used to know.
So I love Facebook for that, and I think honestly, I think we almost take Facebook for granted. It's such a good way of connecting people that without it would be totally different. I like Twitter is in my mind more so for having fun. You can hashtag and just kind of goon it up with people. Again, I don't have any family, just friends. So I think you get the thing that I don't like about Twitter, and it's kind of bad, is that if someone goes on like a tweet spree that you hate, but you know them, but you can't unfollow them.
I think we all know that person that just tweets endlessly, and you don't care about a single thing they're saying, and you have to just deal with.
So I mean, that can be
Instagram
bad.
does the same thing. Instagram, they're like, here's a picture of me here, and another, and another, and another. If you're gonna post more than 2 or 3, please use Facebook, because then I can look through an album. I don't need to see
Exactly, yeah.
12
Totally
pictures
agree.
of you at
Yeah.
the
So
Olympics. I don't know.
those would be really the only two that I would say that I'm super fond of. If and I'm not counting YouTube, I'm not counting message boards or anything like that. One thing I'm not on the bandwagon with, and I never have, and I never will be, is Instagram. Because
Why is that, Andy?
it's posting it combines Twitter and Facebook. You're posting pictures, which you can do on Facebook, and you're hashtagging, which you do on Twitter. I don't see the point.
I think the reason I like it is, like I said, if I went to somewhere and I had one good picture from it, then I'm like, all right, I can throw out one picture. I wouldn't put just one on Facebook. If I really enjoyed something, I'd put the 12 pictures of the whole event on Facebook. So.
But again, to me, it's
There
just
is
like
annoying.
I can just put one picture on Facebook. I don't see the point of Instagram.
But dude, those filters, man.
Fuck filters. My camera on my cell phone has filters.
Andy, here's my point: is that social media is to kind of stay connected with people you know, friends and such, right? So if I have a lot of people, and I do have a lot of people that I know that use Instagram, if I use it, that's just another way to stay connected with them, and that's the whole point of social media in my mind.
Yeah, but I guess I'm stubborn that way. If I don't see the point to it,
You're
I don't do
cantankerous.
it.
I will say the longest part of my Instagram posting is picking the right filter.
I spend tons of time on Instagram making sure that my picture
There you
looks
go.
right.
I love taking a
Hashtag
picture.
no filter.
I love taking a good enough picture that I don't have to use a filter.
The second thing that, speaking of, I don't see the point of is Snapchat. Honestly, it's just like you can text someone a picture instead of Snapchatting them, and then the picture disappears after 10 seconds or something like that.
I guess my one argument, and I agree with you, I think it's stupid, is that a lot of people wouldn't send that picture if it didn't disappear after 10 seconds.
Right,
That's the
so
whole
I mean
point.
that's good if a girl's going to send you a picture of her tits, but I'm just going to screen cap that anyways if you're going to do that. So what's the point?
But they know.
It'll tell you.
It tells them, so you look like a fucking creep, even more so than now.
Yeah, but couldn't you just screen cap it?
No, but
That's what we're saying.
that's what we're saying.
Cap, it'll tell the user.
They
sent it
know
to you,
that you screen capped it.
yeah,
totally
but
like a fucking
if
creep.
you're gonna send me a picture of her tits, you better know that I'm going to screen cap it.
You can have
you see,
another
know
phone
what?
to take a
Then
picture of your phone.
Then the first time they do it, they're not going to send you any more after that if they know you screen capped it.
Yeah,
Aaron, you know a lot about the subject.
No, I'm just
him and Dave send dick pics to each
throwing,
other.
just throwing it out there, boys. That's all.
And then the last thing that, see, I kind of like and dislike it at the same time. Tinder, great idea. Wish it worked.
What is that, Andy? Do you have some hidden malice?
Because it doesn't
Well,
work.
no,
Is there
it
not
doesn't-
hot singles in my Reddit?
The idea behind it
area?
is great. I mean, I just got back from Winnipeg there, and since I'm a white guy who's not Indian, like everyone was matching me there. But like, you come to Calgary and everyone just wants nothing to
You
fucking
get
do with
fucked
you.
up.
went to Winnipeg and you went on Tinder.
What else is there to do on a 20-hour bus ride?
You're driving all the way and you're like, any matches here?
We are
Any
four of the
matches
best
here?
looking guys in the Calgary area, and we get shit all on
We get
Tinder.
nothing.
Actually, you know what? Gurn's got one good match on Tinder.
I got a few.
The three of us didn't get shit.
I got a few in Calgary,
You know
but
what you
then
do? You just
then
sit
they
there
never
and say
said.
like to everyone and
Yeah.
hope that there's...
I got a bunch of Chumbawambas. I didn't get anything good.
See, hashtag no standards. So I like the idea behind Tinder. Wish it worked, because you know what? That would be pretty sweet.
All right, so that's the ones that we love and the ones that we don't
like
love
so
as much. Yeah, we won't say hate, but don't like as much. I don't think
Right.
any of us hated one in particular. But on social media in general, compared to like when we were younger, there really wasn't much social media. It just started to get introduced. We've seen it really from the beginning to the present. So what do you think is the good and the bad of that movement of social media?
Can I cut you off and just ask you guys a quick question? What's the first social media that you guys ever remember?
I'll answer that. When I was a young guy, like 13, I don't know, maybe 12, 14, whatever, I remember hanging out with friends, and like you're with a group of like 2 or 3 buddies or whatever, and you go on AOL Messenger. And you'd always find other people on AOL Messenger,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you'd have conversations with them. They're like, "What are you doing? Oh, I'm doing this. What are you doing? Oh, I'm doing this."
I remember MSN Messenger, and that was
yeah.
before texting was
or
really big.
MSN, AOL, MSN,
chat
was,
rooms.
yeah, and
MSN
that was
chat
like
rooms.
it was like texting nowadays, but like back in the day, that was the shit. Everyone was on MSN or AOL Messenger.
I
all
liked
the time.
that better than having texting, to be honest, because texting, it's like you run out of stuff to say. MSN, it's like you got home after a long day and you're like, this is what happened. You got to talk about the whole day or something like that, or
Yeah,
you didn't
yeah.
talk to him for 2
Because
or 3
people
days.
didn't have cell phones
Yeah,
to
you
text
couldn't-
casually. Like you had to go on MSN.
It was definitely more special, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that-
now
that-
it's like, hey, what'd you do today?
That is
Oh, I
the
did this
earliest
today.
social media.
No, I'm
that I
drinking.
can
I'm
remember.
drinking a Coke. What are you doing? Like,
Pepsi. I like it better.
I remember Nexopia being a big thing when
Nexopia
I was a kid.
Never used Nextdoor.
And I never got Nexopia ever, but I remember that a bunch of my friends did, and even to this day, I don't really know what it was about. Was it just like regular?
It was, honestly, it was Facebook, but you couldn't, I mean, it didn't have all the bells and whistles of it. You had a wall that you could customize. That's what I liked about it a lot. You could customize your wall way more than like Facebook. Facebook is just what you've posted. That one, it's like, this is my bio about me. You change the font, you put little GIFs on it and stuff like that. So it was a lot more, it took a lot of time. It was almost like a 12-year-old's mode of coding. Like,
Right.
it's good.
MySpace.
I never had MySpace.
No
I never
clue
had
what that
it
is
either. No.
Kind of basically a Facebook that I think it's been a long time, but I think you could share like a lot more music.
Music was big for MySpace, and that's why they're kind of making a comeback. Is because they're
They're focusing
they're
more on
more in the music thing. Because
Yeah,
Facebook
I definitely
doesn't
remember.
have that.
I remember having music on MySpace a lot. I've seen that.
But then they tanked because of Facebook, essentially.
Yep. Facebook, I mean, tanked a ton of things. So with having those guys under our belt, and then the juggernauts like Twitter and Facebook, what's the good? What's the bad?
I think that probably depends on your perspective of if you're introverted or not. I like to, even when I go out, I like to surround myself with a lot of people because I like being around people a lot more. So I do like having social media around because it does connect you with a lot of people.
But we've
and-
all been in a situation where you're with a group of 6 or 7 friends, and there is probably 3 or 4 of the people who are on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, connecting with friends that they're not with, but they're ignoring the friends that they're with, and that shit is fucking annoying.
That's definitely the downfall. It gives us. Ideally, it should be used as a tool to connect with people. Then you get together and then you enjoy your time together. But you're so busy trying to connect with different people, you do forget the people that you're with. So, but I still say that I do like the idea of social media. I think it does bring a lot of people closer together.
Can I just say, like, I think social media, in a sense, is becoming almost a bit of an addiction. Like,
Oh, yeah.
sometimes I think a lot of people find it hard not to go on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat or whatever just to check their new, whatever.
I think it's destroyed people. I mean, can any of you honestly remember like the last time you literally just picked up the phone and had a conversation with somebody?
Like dial their number and talk
Like
to them?
just dial their number and talk to them, or
Rare.
It's pretty rare because you just
Rarely.
text them. Who doesn't text? That's all I do is text.
Which I hate. Honestly, I'd much rather just talk to someone on the phone. But they're like, hey, well, like, oh, let's go out, grab a beer, talk about it. Or hey, like, call me, we'll talk about it. It's like, oh, I'll text you. It's like,
You know what, too, though? I could probably say this, even if social media wasn't around. I don't know that I would phone someone just to talk, because I would either say, like, let's go meet up somewhere, or I phone them to ask them a question or something like that.
but that's better than like texting them or Facebook messaging them or something like that. Like,
Right, and I'm still one of those guys that does phone people and say, like, what are you doing, where are you going to be, blah, 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 right?
I make a consistent effort, and we're all usually bad at this. But when I'm hanging out with friends, I try to keep my phone like away in my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm out to dinner, like I try to force myself not to like check Facebook or Twitter or do anything.
It's gonna be there when you get home. That's
We've
the
all
thing.
done this though. Like even the four of us guys, we've been hanging out and like Andy or me or Alex or Dave, we'll make a tweet about what we're doing while we're all together, and then like
And then we all retweet it.
and then we retweet it, we like it, we comment on it.
I think
we'll,
that's
like,
almost like a.
I'm pretty sure I've been hanging out with Andy at the bar, and we've actually had like a tweet conversation where he's made a tweet, I've replied, he's replied, I've replied, and it's
I
like
mean, that's where
that-
the lizard came from.
that's kind of retarded when you think about it. Like you're sitting with a person, and then you just converse with them over social media instead of just talking to them. That's crazy.
I think what like
It's crazy, but it can be funny.
It is
Yeah,
funny.
yeah, it's funny. Like I think that's I think I hate the most about it. It killed interaction with each other, like social interaction. So you can connect with people way better and in a grander scheme than you ever could before. But it's also kind of cut down that level of connection with people.
Can I just say like just recently I broke my phone, and I went like a week without a phone, so I couldn't text, I couldn't keep up to date like with Facebook and stuff, and like I felt so disconnected from the world. I've never felt so disconnected from everything because like I couldn't look at Facebook during the day, I couldn't look at Twitter, Instagram, whatever, and it was the weirdest thing, and I hated it. And at the same time as I complain about how I hate seeing people always on their phone, when you don't have a phone to look at and like keep up to date with stuff, it sucks.
Honestly, you're just like, what is my hand going to do? Because you're so used to pulling out your phone and checking it.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree.
Shut the fuck up, Alex.
Oh wow. Okay, I got that now.
Thing.
What do you think the future is?
Oh, social media is here
You
to stay.
can't, it's here to stay, but you can't tell what I mean, no one thought Facebook would be the juggernaut it was when it started. I mean, it started out as being for just Harvard. And now it's, what did you say, 2012 had 900 million users?
Yep.
Like, so I'm sure it's over 1 billion now. 1 in 7 people in this world have Facebook. Like, that's...
I'm surprised.
More people in this
that's
world
it.
have Facebook than probably have clean water. Like, it's...
That's
Well-
the most depressing thing I've ever heard.
You know what though? I wonder when the first like kind of dating site came on, because really you could call that like the early form of social media, because there has been a lot of like you
With a
know
very
like
eccentric
those
idea to it,
what is
though.
that called, like fish in a pond or whatever.
Plenty of fish.
Plenty of fish, yeah.
Plenty of fish. There's Lava Life. There's
Yeah, like all this stuff like that. Like,
Do you
really,
think
that's
that-
a precursor to
Do you
social
think that
media.
came before, during, or after they were kind
It
of
was at least
revolution of
during.
social
I'd
media?
say...
I think it was before social media. I mean, I think that's been around for a
Do
while.
you know how people talk about the golden age of things? I think right now we're in the golden age of social media. Like it is king. It is king over everything. Social media.
Well, they evaluate those companies worth billions of dollars when really all it is they don't. They have advertising money and they have user data, and that's what's valuable is having our data, and that's why I kind of don't like social media. It's like the amount of information they have on us is ridiculous, and then people are like, well, if you don't have anything to hide, why should you care? But at the same time, it's like I don't really want some random company.
The four of us, the most uninteresting people on the planet.
How much of that information though have you provided yourself?
Oh,
Is
I've
the
given it
counter
all
question.
to them.
Right.
Exactly, willingly. But
So how
at the
can
same-
you co-
but
I'm
it's
just
not
saying,
that
how
I've
could some
given it
people
to them,
complain?
It's that they hang on to it and they sell it off to other people and stuff like that. That's what bothers me. I don't care if Facebook has it, but when Facebook is like, hey, we could probably sell this to so-and-so, that's what kind of irks me.
What about some negative, like going back to kind of negative effects? Like I'm just looking at some facts here on Wikipedia, and apparently 1 in 5 divorces have been blamed on Facebook.
Hey man, your husband
Divorce.
says he's going to the bar, and all of a sudden you see a picture
He
of him
checks
with
in at the hotel or something. Yeah. Hashtag cheating.
Hashtag wife no find out.
I think it's it's really negatively affected that. But I mean, even I think just in general, divorce is a lot more common these days anyway.
If it wasn't social media, it was going to be something
yeah,
else.
exactly. Like, I mean, how many of us know parents that are split up? Mine were, yours were. Like,
yeah.
it's.
On the flip side of that, though, how many people get married that met on social media as well?
Next fact down, 1 of 8 couples married in the U.S. met over social media.
Yeah, my sister and her boyfriend met over social media.
So there you go. I would again almost say that the positive trumps the negative for that.
I think the biggest, like, kind of switching over to a positive is the awareness that it provides for so many things. It can get an issue that people aren't aware of out to millions faster than anything else could before. I mean, you think of just the hashtags and the likes to raise money.
Yeah. I mean, how many of us have ever heard of that ice bucket challenge before?
Well, exactly.
Yeah, that's a prime example about how social media will take something and just set it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as much as it might be like I love watching people get their ice dumped on their head, and sometimes you're like, oh, okay, you almost think
It
it's
gets
getting
annoying after a while,
but at least it's for something good. It's not just a bunch of people dumping ice on their head for nothing. So
It's raising awareness for a cause.
yeah,
And
So-
there's no better way to do that, like in this day and age, than social media.
nothing's ever
Like
competed.
it's social media kills TV. There's like you could not raise awareness for something
They
on
used
TV
to have what are
like you
those
do on
things,
social
like
media.
telethons, call-ins, and that made a
Oh,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
money. But that was like a 1 day a year thing that like they made as a commercial. That built it up. They're like, hey, these are the biggest people in the world that are they're going to be raising money for this. Now it's just like, hey, it's just anyone shares a
Basically,
video.
you put a hashtag on Twitter and people start
Explodes.
hashtagging it. It
Yeah.
trends in cities and countries, and that blows everything
It takes
away.
one big person on Twitter to say something, and it just, someone that has 30 million followers.
So let me tell you guys my biggest problem, I think, with social media is I feel like, and I mentioned this, I sort of touched on this in an earlier podcast that we did, but I feel like it's kind of shrunk the world in a lot of ways. Like, there's not really any, I don't want to say mystery left, but like there was a certain sense before that you could of not knowing, what was going on in another side of the world, a certain sense of maybe adventure if you're going there, or I don't know even how to properly phrase that, but I feel like the world is so connected now that there's really nowhere that's not unexplored, that doesn't have like a sense of
North
newness. Oh yeah, fuck. I don't think they have Facebook in North Korea, do they?
No, exactly. You don't know what's going on there.
No. Fucking commies. But no, like
I agree,
that'd
yeah.
be my only kind of gripe is, and again, I don't know exactly the words I'm looking for, but
Could kind of be a positive, though, in a way, because, like, you'd be like, oh, I'm going on a trip to Ukraine. This is going to be the best trip ever. And then if you, like, 20 years ago, you suddenly got there and you're like, oh, Russia's invading. Like, I didn't know that. So,
yeah, no, you're right.
I can see what you're saying, Andy. Like if you've never been, we all live in Calgary, Alberta here, and like if you've never been to say like California, Dave goes to California. He's Instagramming pictures. He's tweeting stuff to us. He's putting stuff on Facebook. You haven't been there, but like you've seen it in a different way. And like if there was social media didn't exist, California would be a mystery to you. But because of Dave going there hypothetically and showing you all this stuff, you feel like you're more connected to a place that you've never been because of social media.
Right, and that can be good and bad, because then you don't have that chance to make your own impressions or set your own footprints on somewhere that you're going or something like that.
Because you've already seen someone else's adventure in that area,
Right.
and you kind of already have an idea of what's going on.
So yeah, for me, one of the biggest, I guess, drawbacks is just that lack of the sense of wonder. There's a lack of that because everything is so much smaller because everything is connected. I would probably say again though, I think the positives of social media do outweigh that.
Okay,
yeah.
so as a group, do we think the positives outweigh the negatives
I do,
of
yes,
social media?
yeah.
yes.
Because the negatives are pretty frivolous. It's like people not paying attention to their friends when they're in a group, but like the positives are far better.
Well, what about negatives like this? Say you're an employer and you're screening your employees through social media, and you're not hiring them based on what they're publicly putting on their profile.
That's your own fault. If you don't know how to make your Facebook private to someone that's not your actual, like our bosses, like our my co-managers or whatever on my Facebook, because I don't care that they see what I put on there. But if there's something I didn't want them to see, I'll learn how to change my privacy settings. My family has limited profile to me, so they only see certain things because there's shit I do that like I'm not completely embarrassed of, but they don't need to see it. Like. So
You got to remember,
that's
Gurns
their
hangs
fault.
out with us, and we do stuff that his family shouldn't see.
But does the employer have the right to kind of create?
Yeah, if you're willingly leave it open.
Yeah.
Okay, like I have people that work for me, and if I see some like girl on Facebook who's been hanging out and partying all night, and she said she was too sick to work that day, that's going to piss me off. I'm like, I don't know if that's my fault.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that's her fault. That's more her fault for
That's her
letting me
fault.
see that.
I honestly,
But
I think
absolutely.
if you are dumb enough to have your employer on Facebook, and you know what, a lot of times you can be friends with your employers. I'm friends with a lot of my employees and employers, and you know, like if you're first of all, if you're going to go out the night before and party, you gotta pay the price. Come to work the next.
You got to
day.
pay to play.
Yeah, that's right. Second of all, like Grant said, like if you're not smart enough to block, screen people, set your privacy settings, then it's honestly your own fault. I wouldn't say that that's a downfall of social media. That's just, I think, employers being smart.
That's a downfall of people as a whole, I think.
I think one of the cool things I like about social media, and it kind of social media / live game kind of idea, which kind of plays into it's interacting with people anywhere in the world, is it kind of breaks down barriers of like who you might judge normally in real life. Like, not that you're racist or something like that, but you could hang out with this guy on a video game that has like a chat to it, even a chat room, and you just start talking, get along with him really well, and then suddenly they're like, oh, I'm also like, I'm Asian or I'm Middle Eastern and stuff like that. It might be someone you wouldn't normally go up and meet and talk to, but through this, it didn't even fucking matter. You just started to get to know this person, you talked, and you found out, and you're like, whatever. Like,
Yeah, no, that's a good call. When I was a kid, I was on, before like social media, I was on like message boards. Like I went to GameFAQs.com, which I actually just reopened my account to, and I was posting there all the time. And there used to be people from, you know, like all around North America on there, and a bunch of people from Europe as well. So yeah, and that was really even before like everything was available for that. I think the biggest thing back then was to have AIM.
yeah.
So yeah, like that's definitely a good point for that. You can definitely meet a lot of different people.
Just people you wouldn't normally go walk up to and talk at a bar or just get to know at work or something like that sometimes.
What about social media that you wouldn't consider is typical social media, like Reddit?
I'll throw it out there, and I think Reddit is social media. Andy Spiteri just said like message boards. Reddit has become kind of like the message board of the whole internet. Is how I feel. Like there's so many people on Reddit, and they call it the front page of the internet for a reason. Is because there's a ton of people on Reddit all the time, and there are so many things to talk about on Reddit. They have a subreddit for everything you can ever imagine, and
And you
know,
can customize.
I mean, I think Andy, you're not a big Reddit user, but I know Dave, you are. I myself am, and Alex is, and like Reddit's great. I can't get enough of Reddit.
See, Reddit for me is almost daunting because like you go on there and there's so many people. What do you want to
Well,
like?
you kind of set up Reddit to tailor to your taste. Like,
Yeah.
Do you know kind of how I think of it? Like, Facebook is social media that you share with your friends and family. Twitter is social media you share with just your friends. Reddit is social media you share with every single person on the planet who could have Reddit, which is billions of people. And that can be daunting, but at the same time, that's insane. You could ask a question and, like, anyone in the world can answer. That's crazy to me.
One thing I think is kind of cool that we haven't touched on yet is Tumblr, which is that can hold some pretty good gems in there every now and then. You get a funny page, people posting funny gifs or whatever like that.
never been to Tumblr.
I've gone to Tumblr a few times, and honestly, I think the reason I don't anymore is because Reddit kind of killed it for me. And not that like bash on there, but it's a similar idea, but plus more. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Tumblr has those hidden gems in there every once in a while.
Yeah,
I think
I don't
Tumblr's-
go on Tumblr myself either, but
They're just limited to what they can
Yeah.
do on there. But I think like on the Reddit thing, like what I like about Reddit is where they go for like the gift exchange, and they raise money for like teachers that like can't afford to buy supplies for the classroom, and
It honestly
like,
gets results,
people
too.
yeah, like random like person posts a picture of like a kid that wanted pizza while he was in like a hospital room because they thought it was kind of cute, and then like 18 people in that local area sent him pizza. It's just kind of really like, and they have the meetups and stuff like that. It's a really cool way to kind of actually pull for it, and it's funny because it's such an internet site, but it teaches you things to be like, hey, get off your ass and go outside again. But it's an internet site telling you to do that.
Another really cool part of Reddit is like when big celebrities do Ask Me Anythings, and they'll just go on there and they'll just say like, hey, like I'm Will Ferrell, I'm Brad Pitt, I'm whoever. Ask me whatever you feel like. People from all over the planet will just ask a question, and like
President of the States did
90%, Obama did it, and they can just ask a big celebrity anything they feel like, which is pretty cool.
I think that's the cool
you're
thing.
not limited to characters with that either, are you?
No.
See, Twitter you are, which is why some of the hashtag ask whoever is is
It's tricky.
It doesn't
Yeah,
work so
it can
well.
be
yeah.
tricky. Yeah,
'Cause they
you
can
gotta
cut
be
their
very
answers short
clever
and
about
kind of
how you
cop
answer.
out. So I think they all have like their interesting. Each social media has its own little thing that makes it that much better than the others, and I think there'll be one maybe someday that kind of takes the rest. But
Really quickly, what do you think is going to fade out? What do you think is here to stay? Because I think Facebook is here to stay, and I think Twitter is too.
Facebook, Twitter.
You hate it, Andy, but I don't think Instagram is going anywhere. You don't like it, but
Facebook bought
it
it,
is
right?
extremely popular. There's not very many people I know that don't have it. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, I think, are here to stay for sure.
honestly, I think all of them are here to stay within a certain capacity. But I can't say with confidence on any of them because who knows what comes out. I mean, you thought MySpace was the
Yeah,
shits back
good-
then, and then
good
suddenly
point,
Facebook
good
just
point.
rolls in.
Mhm.
There's literally maybe a site out there right now that's just starting to bubble up, and
Another really quick question for you guys: did you guys ever see The Social Network?
Yep.
I did not actually.
What do you guys think of that movie?
I liked it a lot.
Spoilers.
Spoilers: he makes Facebook.
Spoiler: someone thinks they made Facebook.
You should watch it. It's really interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check it out.
How kind of the hook of the final piece of the puzzle of creating Facebook was deciding for him to put in if people were in a relationship or not.
Really?
Yeah, that was kind
And-
of the final missing piece.
And just before that, tagging people in a picture, which that had never been existed anywhere in the world. Facebook created that, as being able to tag people in a picture. That's a big deal because that is a huge thing in social media.
Right. Well, that's how you stay connected.
Exactly.
So yeah, really cool movie.
Well, I think that was a pretty solid podcast about some of the social media loves and not so much loves that we have for it.
Hashtag cool story show.
I loves the Cool Story Show. You all should too.
I loves it too.
Hashtag Giraffe for life.
I'm sure we're gonna probably open up our podcast to even more of these social medias.
Just remember, viewers, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, please.
Instagram, MySpace.
I'm gonna pin it.
Exopia.
MySpace if you want. We'll sing a song for you.
I'm working on something that you never even heard of right now that you can follow us on.
The next big thing.
Blue.
All right. Well, thanks everyone. You can find me on Twitter at GurnetA.
You can find me at acorbett48.
Me at Dave Meyer 7.
Spiteri316.
What about social media do you like or not like? Leave a comment in the section below.
And you can find the Twitter for the Cool Story Show at
The Cool Story Show.
At the Cool Story Show.
Tweet us, Facebook us, YouTube us, all that fun social media stuff. Like, subscribe. We're out.